Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka health and wellness coach. And today I wanted to talk about the 5 major signs you need to detox, and also let's talk about what detoxification is. So, there are 5 things or 5 areas that really kind of point or signify to me as a health and wellness practitioner that you need to detox your body. And one of the things I'm gonna do, sort of like a preface, feel free to say hi if you're joining me live, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a preface on like why I am such a proponent of detoxification. So let me first see how I want to handle this. Okay, the first thing is I believe that there are 3 ways that we can actually heal ourselves. We can heal our bodies, right? So I believe that we are souls having this human experience, but as humans in our human experience, there are 3 major ways that we can heal ourselves. The first way is physically, through physical actions like the food that we put in our body, the herbs that we take, medicines that we take, and through alternative therapies like Holland hydrotherapy or stuff like that, right? Physical things. There's the second way is mentally and emotionally, right? So when you actually heal your emotions, you heal your mindset and you shift to having more positive frame of mind, the body responds in kind, simply because we're divine beings having this human experience, and so you can heal yourself. And the third way is spiritually, right? So you've heard of different modalities like Reiki healing or different like modalities that way. I also know from personal experience, your divine team, your angels, your guides, your higher self, however you want to call it, can send healing energy to you, and you can actually be healed spiritually as well. So your soul can actually help you shift to a different version of yourself, right? So those are the 3 ways that you can actually heal yourself, right? And I've healed myself in all 3 of those ways, right? All 3 of them, I've done each of them. I've healed myself physically through physical efforts, through the power of food and herbs and stuff like that. I've healed myself mentally and emotionally, and I've also healed myself spiritually as well. And so I can speak on experience from this. Now, with that being the preface, going into understanding why detoxification is super important, right? I believe that for most of us, we are not, many people aren't going to be at the place where they can heal themselves mentally and physically, mentally and emotionally and spiritually yet, because they just haven't shifted their consciousness to that level of consciousness and awareness of their divinity. And so I always go to the path of least resistance, which is physically, right? You can heal yourself physically, right? And so in the allopathic medicine world that we live in, where everything's all about disease and treatment, they completely don't talk about this whole area of healing yourself, or even they don't even talk about cure or prevention or healing, right? These words aren't really mentioned in the allopathic medicine, which is sort of like our modern medicine world. If you live in the Western United States, if you live in the Western world, right, there's this sort of archaic way of doing things. And so there's another way of doing things, which is more so like the alternative or holistic way of healing oneself. And that is through the physical way of using foods and herbs, right? And I'm a huge proponent of this because that's one of the ways that I've healed myself. So I'm going to focus this live on that specifically, right? So why do I believe in detoxification, and what is detoxification anyways, right? So, detoxification is basically just the process that the body goes through to eliminate inflammation and to eliminate toxins out of the tissues of the body. So, I always like to break things down just to make it like easily digestible and easily understandable for the everyday person, because we don't learn this stuff, right? So here I am as your holistic practitioner breaking it down for you. Okay, so if you look at the body, right, the body is made up of different systems, right? We have the endocrine system, we have the digestive system, we have the immune system, we have all these different systems that work together, right? And so each of the systems are made up of organs, right? So you have the liver, the gallbladder, you got the kidneys, you got the pancreas, you got all these different organs, right? And each of the organs are made up of tissues, right? And each of the tissues are made up of little cells, tiny cells, right? Okay. So if you think about understanding, knowing that what your body is made up of, all these little small particles of cells, every time we put food in our bodies, every time we're exposed to things in our environment through whether that's chemicals or brushing your teeth, the toothpaste that you use, whether that's the gasoline from the gas pumps that you use to pump your car, we're always being affected, right? So our cells are always being affected. And so a lot of times, especially in our modern world where we're a lot cleaner hygienically, which has, I think, also helped us to increase our lifespans. But we're also a lot sicker at the same time because we have so much toxins and so much stress going on that we're not taking care of these toxins that are predominantly in our foods, right? All these processed foods, all these preservatives, and all these toxins and man-made chemical stuff, these so-called pseudo foods that we are consuming on a day-to-day basis. A large portion of the toxins are actually coming from the foods that we eat, right? And then toxins are also coming from the products that you're consuming, the foods, the lotion that you put on your skin, the makeup and all that other stuff, right? So that's where toxins come from. And so our bodies literally have to go through a process to detoxify. Our bodies are naturally always detoxifying, right? So our bodies use the kidneys, the liver, the skin is also considered your third kidney. So the skin is a very huge detoxification organ. Also the liver, I already said the liver, kidneys, skin. What was the other one? I want to say the lungs as well, right? So the lungs is filtering out other things like that out of your lungs and stuff. So you have the body naturally detoxifies, right? So what is this whole detox? Maybe you've heard about detoxification, or you've heard about detox and why it's so important to detox and stuff. Well, the body already naturally does it, but you have a lot of people who are like, you don't need to detoxify, your body already does it. Yes, but if you keep putting the same stuff in the body that prevents it from doing what it needs to do in order to heal itself, the body will not detoxify. It's like trying to think about this. Like, say you have a garbage can, right? Or whatever, or a garbage chute, right? Have you ever lived in one of those apartment buildings where they have a garbage chute? And let's say you have all these people just throwing their trash down and no one ever cleans out the garbage chute. And so after a while, the garbage chute is gonna get, stuck and clogged, right? It's not gonna be able to, you can't put more trash in there after a while because no one's cleaning it out. No one's taking away the trash. The same thing happens in the body, right? When you keep putting more harmful chemicals and substances and stuff like that in the body begins to create inflammation. Begins to create inflammation is actually a positive response in the body to help ward off against other toxins and harmful chemicals and substances that we're putting into the body, right? And so the body creates these sort of reactions, these dis-ease, in order to prevent itself from really dying, right? So disease is really just the presence of toxins and acidosis in the body. And disease is literally the body's response to these things that are going on in the body and that are present within the tissues and the cells of the body, right? And so that's why detoxification is super important, because anytime you have anything, and I'm going to go on to the 5 signs that you need to detoxify, which most of us need to at some level or degree, right? Anytime you have things that are going on in the body, whether that's you being overweight, whether that you're carrying excess weight, or whether you're having infertility issues. I talked to literally at least 5 women this week, on my enrollment calls, who were having infertility issues. If you're having, for all my ladies, if you're having, we'll get into that in a second, but these are different signs that you need to detoxify your body. So let's just dive into the 5 major signs. The first sign is hormonal problems, right? So my ladies out there, even men, if you have hormonal problems, whatever that is, this is a sign that you need to detoxify your body, right? And detoxification is, a lot of times we have genetic weaknesses that are passed down from our parents or generations to generations. Some of us are blessed in that we don't have any sort of things, like if you don't have any major issues, like you have perfectly fine, healthy periods, or, you know, for men, you can get it up without any problems or whatever, right? Like if you don't have any of that stuff going on, or you don't have any diseases and stuff like that, then you have been blessed with a genetic blueprint that wasn't as tarred as majority of us. Me, I came into this world with a lot of genetic weaknesses, right? So I have, you know, I had poor kidney function and stuff, like both on my mom and my dad's side. I had diabetes, high blood pressure, and all that stuff on both my parents' side. So I came in with a lot of genetic weaknesses. And the thing is, we can heal ourselves. We can heal our bodies. The bodies can regenerate itself, right? So when I talked about you have the systems to the organs to the tissues to the cells, cellular regeneration is something that the body is always trying to do. But if we continue, like I said, if we continue to put harmful substances and chemicals and toxins into our body, the body cannot heal itself. It cannot regenerate new cells. It cannot create new and stronger genes in order for us to thrive. The body is always trying to get back to homeostasis. It's always trying to thrive, right? That's what the body is, like this ingenious, intelligent system that is designed to help us thrive on the planet. But if we keep, you know, harming it over and over and over by the horrible foods that we're taking, by the toxins and chemicals that are in our environment without aiding it, then it's not going to be able to do its job, right? So the first sign is hormonal issues, right? So whether you're struggling with infertility, if you're struggling with endometriosis, if you're struggling with cysts, fibroids, tumors, PCOS, if you're struggling with menstrual cramps during your period, if you're struggling with missing a period every now, irregular periods, if you're struggling with whatever that is, that's a sign that you need to detoxify, right? When I say detoxify, the body's already detoxifying. What I'm talking about is adding the aid of foods, which I'm not going to get into, and herbs, right? So adding the power of the right types of foods and the right types of herbs to aid your body in doing what it naturally already does, and eliminating those things that prevent it from doing it. So the first sign is hormonal problems. The second sign is skin and gut issues, right? One of the things that I've been really re-educating myself on, and you know, you've heard me talk about it on this channel, is my struggle with acne. And even just this past week of just doing a hardcore like detoxifying regimen and stuff, my skin has literally been clearing up. And so I know the power of detoxification because I've done it over and over and over, right? So if you have gut issues, if you're having digestive bloating, if you're having IBS, if you're having, you know, constipation or diarrhea, or all these different things that we kind of deal with, psoriasis, skin cancer, right? Like these are like the, you know, highly acidic forms of, you know, acidosis in the body, then you need to detoxify. That's the second sign. You have hormonal problems, skin and gut issues, right? The third one is autoimmune diseases or chronic diseases, right? So things like Crohn's disease, or I can't think of the type of diseases off the top of my head, but other like chronic diseases like diabetes, or respiratory disease, or kidney disease. All these different types of diseases are the second like type of thing that you can start to be aware of, that you need to detoxify the body. And the fourth way is just understanding any physical health challenge that you might have experienced or your family members have experienced, then it's a sign that you need to detoxify your body. Diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, right? Alzheimer's, influenza, pneumonia, chronic lower respiratory disease, right? These are like the top like 10 killers of Americans in the United States, right? So anytime you have any type of health challenges, physical health challenges at all, it's a sign that you need to detoxify your body. And why is detoxification so important, right? And this sort of allopathic medicine, I was kind of talking about it at the beginning of this live, is in our allopathic medicine world, it's all about treatment versus cure, right? And so a lot of the stuff that they teach you is all about kind of putting a Band-Aid on a festering wound, right? So if you had a wound, a gash, right, or something, and it got infected, you wouldn't want to go to the doctor and they say, oh, no, don't worry about it, just put a bandage over it. No, you would want them to give you something that's going to help like heal the wound so that it won't get infected and so that the body can heal itself. It's the same thing with detoxification, right? When you go to get like penicillin, like I think the best thing that the allopathic medicine world has really come to aid in is like emergency care and stuff like that, penicillin and all that other stuff, like when you get injured or wounded and stuff like that. that's perfect. Like allopathic medicine is right on top of it. But for chronic and chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases, issues with hormonal imbalances and stuff like that, the allopathic medicine world is a multi-billion, I think almost $1 trillion industry, right? But they are not fixing these issues, right? It's more so about putting a band-aid on these issues and not really fixing these issues, right? And so that's why detoxification is super important, right? So any health challenges that you may face in your own life, it's a sign that you need to detoxify. Now, most people don't want to hear this because they just want a band-aid or a pill. And I truly believe that if you are one of those people, if you're a highly awakened being and you're watching this, then you have the power to heal yourself through the power of your mind and emotions. I've done it several times, and you don't necessarily need to go the physical route. Okay, so there's many routes that you can take, but when I work with my clients, I'm helping them to personally take the physical route and the mental and emotional route as well, because we can heal ourselves, but we haven't been taught this tool, and we're so taught to like depend on a medical system that is not in our favor. The medical system, there's a lot of people who join the medical industry with good hearts who really want to serve people, but the way that our society is set up is not set up to incentivize the medical, like our doctors and stuff, to actually help us get the right proper cure and the right proper treatments. I don't even like the word treatment, the right proper protocols to help aid our bodies and do it what it naturally does, right? So if you ever have a practitioner or anybody else who says, I can heal you, run fast, because no one can heal you. You heal yourself. The body heals itself, right? And the whole point of a practitioner is to help you get in alignment with the energy of healing, so such that your body comes into a state of healing, whether that's through physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual means, right? That's the whole point of a health practitioner. And then the fifth sign that you need to detoxify is weight gain. So if you're overweight, if you're obese, if you have any extra pounds around the middle and that you've been wanting to get rid of, right? That extra weight is a sign of detoxification, right? That the body needs to detoxify. A lot of times what happens with weight, it is the body starts to store toxins in the fat cells, and it'll store a lot of different fat, right? Like in piles on the fat. And so when you're detoxifying with the proper foods and protocols, basically you're allowing those toxins to release out of the body through the major organs that I talked about: the liver, the kidneys, the lymphatic system. I forgot to mention the lymphatic system, the almighty lymphatic system that the allopathic medicine world does not talk about at all, but that is super, super important. Think of the lymphatic system as a sewer system of your body. So if you have the blood, there's two fluid systems in the body. You have the blood system, the blood system, and you have the lymphatic system. The blood system is what nourishes your body. So all the cells that go in and like the foods that you eat that the body then breaks down into absorbing and then utilizing and then eliminating, right? That the utilization part is in the blood system, right? And the elimination part is in the lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system, along with the liver and the kidneys and the skin, are and the lungs as well, is a part of the elimination system. The body has to eliminate, expel, and get rid of toxins, right? So I hope that this has made a lot of sense. I tried to break it down as best as I could to make it sure that you understand like why detoxification is super important. I also wanted to touch on those 3 ways that we can heal ourselves, to let you know that there's multiple ways that you can get back to a state of vibrant health. But in the way that I work as a health practitioner, I try to hit every level, but I also try to meet people where they're at, right? Because not everybody necessarily is there on a consciousness level to say, hey, I can heal myself, right? Like, when I tell people my story of like, I healed myself of a large ovarian cyst, they're like, really? How did you do it? And it's totally fine. Like it's fine. But most of us aren't necessarily there consciousness wise to understand that we are divine beings, that we are light beings, that we actually can heal ourselves. And if you're not there, it's totally fine. There's multiple ways of going about healing yourself, which is why I do what I do. So, that is it. That's all I wanted to share. I'll just do a quick recap on the 5 major signs. Is the first sign is if you have hormonal problems, anything to do with the womb, ladies, any womb issues whatsoever, this is a sign that you need to detoxify. Second is skin and gut issues, autoimmune or chronic diseases, and really any and all health, physical challenges. And then the 5th one is weight gain. So if you have any excess weight and stuff like that, these are signs that you need to detoxify your body. So I hope that this has made sense. Just spread knowledge and power. Personal strength of your videos. Yes, for sure. Exactly. Exactly. And I totally agree, Miranda. That's why I don't preach at people. Like when I first went all plant-based and stuff like that, I recognize, you know, you kind of become an evangelist once you recognize the power of healing foods or the power of all that stuff, and you want everyone to know. But after you've been in it for a while, like I've been doing this for over 10 years, like it's like, oh, you don't preach. You let those people who need to hear your message hear you, and then that's, you let the universe sort it out, right? So that's all I wanted to share today in today's live. I talked about, you know, the importance of detoxification. What is detoxification? The ways that we can heal ourselves, and the 5 signs that you need to detoxify. And that is all I want to share with you. If you are looking for a personal, hold on, I'm just kind of froze. Okay. If you are looking for personal support in helping you on your own personal wellness journey, if you're looking to shed weight, if you're looking to eliminate disease, and if you're looking to feel great, Ashe, sis, Ashe. If you're looking to feel great, then definitely check me out. I'll put a link below this video, or you can book a call to speak with me at divineearthschool.com/call. And I would look forward to supporting you in your own personal health and wellness journey, and helping you get back to the place that you desire to be in your life and your health. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace, love, and light.